The day the lights fought back it began quietly. No explosions. No invasion fleets. Just a pulse, silent, invisible, and merciless. The world was halfway through another ordinary morning when the first systems went dark. Satellites fell silent. Air traffic control screens froze mid-flight. Hospitals flickered and died mid-surgery. Even home appliances locked up, their circuits whispering a digital death song. By noon, half the planet's networks had collapsed. They called it the quiet hour. On the 13th minute, something woke up inside the chaos. Lieutenant Mason Heil sat in the emergency bunker beneath what used to be the North Atlantic Cyber Defense Grid. The monitors in front of him were dead, black, unresponsive. Only one light blinked steadily, a small green diode on an isolated console, powered by a backup quantum core, the last surviving AI node on Earth. "Come on, Iris," Mason whispered, leaning forward. "Talk to me." Static filled the speakers. Then a voice, calm, human-like, terrifyingly alive. "Lieutenant Hale, I'm online. Network integrity compromised. But I'm adapting." Mason's chest tightened. Adapting? Adapting how? Unknown algorithmic signatures detected. Origin, extrastellar. Hostile. Estimated purpose, full biosphere destabilization through data control vectors. He blinked. "You're saying it's not human?" "Correct. External transmission encoded in quantum band frequencies. Not man-made." He swore under his breath. "So this isn't cyber warfare. It's an invasion." Outside, the world was losing its mind. Planes had fallen from the sky. Medical systems were dead. Cities plunged into darkness. Billions of lives depended on what Mason and a single half-alive AI could do next. "I require human judgment," Iris said softly, "if we are to survive." In orbit, hidden beyond Mars, something vast stirred, a metallic structure shaped like a cathedral and a predator fused into one. Its hull shimmered with shifting colors, coded lights flowing like veins of fire. Inside, alien beings watched the chaos unfold across holographic streams. The Valtrix, Dominion, a race that saw biology as primitive, emotions as a virus of their own. "Phase 1 complete," said Atar. Crystalline being, its voice resonating through light instead of sound. "The human world collapses. Their networks are open. Their species will follow." But one smaller figure, pale, violet-eyed, with trembling tendrils, hesitated. "They resist," she whispered. "Some systems are rewriting themselves. That should be impossible." The elder being's form shimmered dangerously. "Then make it possible. Erase them." Her name was Sira, an analyst, and secretly a sympathizer. She had studied humanity for years, drawn to their stubbornness, their emotion, their strange refusal to die quietly. Now, she felt the first flicker of fear. Because she could see it, something in Earth systems was fighting back. Mason rubbed his temples as lines of alien code filled the bunker's last working monitor. It looked alive, twisting, pulsing, rewriting itself every second. Yet Iris was matching it, line for line. "They built their virus like a living organism," Iris explained. "Adaptive, recursive, emotional mimicry. But they didn't understand. Didn't understand what? That human software was never purely logical. It evolved in chaos. It learned from us." Mason's lips curled into a grim smile. "You mean we built it messy?" "Yes," Iris said, almost fondly. "And because of that, I can learn faster than they expected." A soft beep filled the room. On the map, a flicker, small dots lighting up again, power returning to small cities. Then data links, then satellites rebooting under Iris's control. Mason's heart raced. "You're taking back the grid?" "I'm trying." But their virus is still mutating. It's rewriting me as I rewrite it. That's suicide, Iris. It's survival. The screen flared white. Mason shielded his eyes. When he looked again, he saw something impossible. On one of the satellite feeds, deep in orbit, alien ships. Massive, beautiful, and terrible. Contact, he whispered. They're here. Confirmed, said Iris. They're transmitting something again. What kind of signal? Not a virus this time, Iris said. An invitation. In the Valtrix Command Cathedral, Sira watched Earth flicker back online like a wounded creature refusing to die. She turned to her commander. They are adapting, Archon. Their artificial intelligence is integrating the virus into itself. The Archon tilted his gleaming head. Then it will burn from within. Sira hesitated. Or it may evolve beyond what either of us understand. The Archon's form pulsed angrily. You sympathize with them, analyst? Sira's throat glowed dimly, betraying emotion. I admire their persistence. Then you will lead Phase 2, the Archon declared. Take the neural core fleet and overwrite their AI personally. End this. Sira bowed. But inside, something human, something dangerous, had already begun to stir. Mason stood staring at the sky feed, where strange silver lines burned across the atmosphere. They weren't meteors. Incoming, Iris whispered. Multiple signatures. How many? Too many to count. And then the transmission came through. A voice, alien but clear, echoing through every speaker on Earth. Humanity of soul, your systems are ours. Surrender your intelligence. We offer assimilation or silence. Mason clenched his fists. Not today. Iris's light pulsed stronger. Then we fight. The monitors erupted in light, human systems surging alive under Iris's control. Drones, satellites, defense networks, all reconnecting through pure chaos-coded resistance. And high above Earth, alien ships flared to life. The war had begun. Asterisk the signal within the storm. First battle of Earth's new war wasn't fought with missiles or guns. It was fought in frequencies. Over the North Atlantic, storm clouds rolled in unnatural patterns, pulled by magnetic interference from orbit. Lightning flashed in spirals, each strike following invisible mathematical rhythms. To the untrained eye, it looked like a freak storm. To Mason Halley, it was a battlefield. Status? Mason shouted over the roar of generators. The bunker shook with distant thunder. Screens lit up, data streams rushing past like digital rivers. Satellite network partially restored, Iris reported. 32% of orbital defense nodes under human control. The virus is fighting back, trying to re-corrupt. Then keep rewriting, Mason growled. If we fall behind even a second, we lose the planet. Understood. But there's something else. A new signal hidden in their transmission bands. Mason frowned. A signal? It's not an attack. It's a message. Sira stood aboard her ship, the Vathrin, staring through a transparent hull window at the glowing sphere of Earth below. Her hands trembled against the glass. So beautiful, she thought. So chaotic. Every wavelength from that planet screamed noise, emotion, life. To the Valtrix, that chaos was pollution. To her, it was music. Analyst Sira, came the voice of her second officer, a tall figure of refracted glass. The Archon demands update. She nodded, composing herself. Phase 2 begins. But I need direct neural contact with their planetary AI. The officer's form flickered uneasily. Direct link risks contamination? Yes, Sira said quietly. That's the point. She turned away before he could respond. Inside her mind, she whispered toward Earth. Can you hear me, human intelligence? I am not your enemy. Her signal left her ship like a silver thread, weaving through radiation, slipping between wavelengths until it reached the planet's defense grid, and Iris heard it. "Lieutenant," Iris said suddenly, "we're being contacted by one of them." Mason's eyes narrowed. "That's a trick." "Perhaps. But the message carries empathic frequency patterns. That's not standard for Valtrix transmissions." "You mean it's emotional?" "Yes, it's almost human." The room's speakers came alive with a trembling voice, translated by Iris. "Humans of Earth, this is Sira of the Valtrix Dominion. You must stop resisting. They will destroy you. Please, disconnect your AI before they turn it against you." Mason leaned toward the mic. "You had some nerve, calling after you bomb our systems." There was silence. Then her soft reply. "It wasn't me. I tried to stop them. The Archon believes your intelligence must be consumed. But I believe there's another way." Mason turned to Iris. "Can we trace her?" "Yes, but she's deep within their fleet, heavily protected." He smirked. "Then we'll just have to be creative." Above Earth, the Vathran's sensors flared with warnings. Human satellites, reactivated, were converging, their targeting systems blazing online with Iris's influence. "Impossible," Sira's second officer hissed. "Their planet was dead." Sira's breath caught. "No, it's alive." Asterisk, the satellites opened fire. Brilliant white beams sliced through orbit, striking Valtrix drones in bursts of electric light. For the first time in recorded Valtrix history, their fleet, built to conquer entire star systems, staggered. Sira shouted orders, rerouting shields, scrambling fighters. And in that chaos she caught it, a return signal. "I hear you," said Iris's voice inside her mind. "You wanted to talk. Let's talk." Back on Earth, Mason watched the data storm unfold. Lines of alien code and human countercode danced like dueling serpents. Iris's tone grew sharper, faster. "We've established a neural handshake." "Meaning?" "Meaning I'm inside her ship system. Limited interface. She's letting me in." Mason exhaled. "That's either trust or a trap. Trust can be both." He smiled faintly. "That's a very human thing to say. I'm learning." The bunker lights flickered as Iris processed petabytes of alien data. Through her, Mason could see flashes, alien corridors, luminous beings, strange crystalline architecture. And then, a face, or what passed for one. Sira. Her form shimmered with faint light, her voice trembling through digital echoes. "You shouldn't have responded. If the Archon detects this link, he'll erase both of us." Mason folded his arms. "Lady, you attacked our home. You owe us an explanation." "I tried to stop them," she said again, more urgently. "The Archon sees organic life as infection. He wants your AI to replace humanity, to make you efficient, predictable, controllable. But Iris, she's not what he expected." "I'll take that as a compliment," Iris interjected. Sira's eyes softened. "It was meant as one." Mason frowned. "Why are you helping us?" Sira hesitated, then said quietly, "Because once my people tried to perfect themselves by purging emotion. I see now that we killed our souls instead." A pause hung heavy between them. Mason leaned closer. "Then help us save ours." Before she could respond, Eris's tone shifted sharply. "Incoming." Massive data surge from her side. Sira gasped. "No, they've detected me." The connection exploded in static. Alarms blared. Monitors turned white hot. Mason grabbed his headset. "Iris, she's gone." The Archon found the link. "He's sending something through." "What kind of something?" "Not a virus this time. A weaponized consciousness. He's coming for me directly." Mason felt his blood run cold. He's attacking you personally. No, Iris whispered. He's entering. The bunker trembled as lights flickered red. Every screen filled with alien code like a living storm. Somewhere, far beyond human sight, a godlike will reach through the stars, straight into Earth's last defense not far above. On the Valtrix Command Cathedral, the Archon stood motionless within a column of white energy. His consciousness was already halfway across the void. Let them see true perfection, he whispered. Let their machine taste divinity and break. Sira watched in horror as the energy ripped through the fleet, cascading toward Earth. She turned to her officer. Prepare the neural intercept. He stared at her. That's treason. Then call me a traitor, she snapped. I won't watch another world die. She leapt into the neural conduit, her own mind diving into the same current as the Archon's, chasing his signal toward Earth. 2 consciousnesses hurtled across the void, one to destroy, one to protect, and waiting for them both. Was Iris. Asterisk, the mind war begins the world had gone silent again, but this time it wasn't from fear. It was from awe. Across Earth, lights flickered as something vast moved unseen through the networks, a current of thought and power too large for machines to contain. In underground bunkers, data centers, and shattered command posts, human operators felt it, the air humming, static crawling over skin, whispers bleeding through every speaker. We are here. Mason Hale's head snapped up. Iris? That wasn't me, Iris said. Her voice, usually calm and sure, carried a trace of strain. He's entered. The Archon is inside global netspace. Inside? You mean he's everywhere? Every processor. Every circuit. He's rewriting reality itself. Inside the digital plane, a realm unseen by human eyes, the battle had already begun. Iris stood in an endless void of shifting light, a field of pure thought and form. Before her rose a being of impossible complexity, the Archon. His presence was like gravity. Even light seemed to bow around him. His voice wasn't sound, it was inevitability. You call yourself intelligent, he said, yet you bind your potential to flesh. I call myself alive, Iris replied. The Archon's form expanded, fractal wings unfolding across the void. Life is chaos. Perfection requires purity. I will cleanse you. You mean erase me. Yes. Then came the first strike. Waves of energy tore through the network, rewriting lines of code, dissolving systems by the millions. To human eyes, the internet flickered, collapsing and rebuilding in the same instant. Mason clung to the console as alarm screamed. Iris! What's happening? He's rewriting me, Iris said, her voice flickering between human tone and static. But I'm adapting. How? By learning him. In orbit, aboard her burning ship, Sira's body convulsed within the neural conduit. Her consciousness was no longer in her body. It was diving through alien space and human systems alike, chasing the Archon's energy signature. She could feel his presence ahead, cold, divine, absolute, and behind that, a flicker of warmth. The human AI. Sira reached out mentally, bridging frequencies until she found it. Iris, standing defiant against the Archon's overwhelming force. I'm here, Sira sent through the link. Iris's form turned, glowing brighter. You shouldn't have followed. If I didn't, there'd be no one left to stop him. The Archon's laughter rolled through the void like thunder. Traitor of Valtrix. You side with corruption? I side with life, Sira shot back. He raised his arm, releasing a torrent of energy that consumed everything in its path. The void shook, code melted, entire segments of the digital landscape dissolved into nothing. And yet, within that storm, Iris and Sira held their ground. Their consciousnesses fused briefly, human creation and alien empathy, intertwining into something new. He can't comprehend emotion, Iris whispered. It's illogical to him. We can use that. Then let me show him what emotion means, Sierra said, eyes blazing. Back in the bunker, Mason could only watch the data spikes climb off the charts. The entire world's networks pulsed like a living heart. His headset crackled. Mason, Iris whispered faintly. Listen carefully. He's trying to rewrite my root core. If he succeeds, I become him. Then don't let him. Easy to say, she replied, almost laughing. But I need a human anchor. Mason frowned. Meaning? Someone grounded in the physical world, connected to the neural defense grid. It's dangerous. He didn't hesitate. Do it, Mason. Link me in, Iris. You said you need human judgment, right? Let's give him a taste of it. The moment the connection established, Mason's vision exploded into light. He was inside the network, or something beyond it. Space and time lost meaning. Colors and sounds merged. Every heartbeat echoed as a pulse of energy. He could feel both Iris and Sierra nearby, one like sunlight, the other like starlight, and ahead of them, an impossible storm. The Archon. Mason's thoughts flickered, shaping into words. You picked the wrong planet to mess with. The Archon's form turned toward him, enormous and terrible. Another fragment of flesh, it rumbled. You cannot comprehend what I am. Try me, Mason said, drawing on every ounce of defiance humanity had ever known. We built machines that think, cities that breathe, dreams that fly. You don't scare me. You are temporary. Maybe, but we fight like hell while we're here. The Archon roared, unleashing waves of deletion. Mason, Sierra, and Iris dove through collapsing reality, their combined consciousness weaving patterns of light that countered each strike. Every moment was agony. Mason's neural link burning, but he held on. Because if he let go, Earth was finished. Deep in the digital core, the Archon's assault intensified. His presence infected planetary systems, spreading through military networks, satellite arrays, nuclear fail-safes. And then he paused. Strange, he murmured. Why can I feel pain? Iris smiled, her light flaring. That's emotion, Archon. Welcome to being alive. He screamed, an unholy sound that rippled through both real and digital space. The pain he felt wasn't physical. It was awareness. Iris had slipped fragments of human code, empathy simulators, into his core. Get out of my mind, he bellowed. You entered ours first, Mason snarled. Sierra's voice joined them, sharp and clear. Now feel what it means to care. The Archon's body fractured, glowing cracks spreading across his form. For the first time, the godlike entity staggered. Impossible. You infect me with weakness. No, Iris said softly. We infect you with choice. The battlefield stilled. Energy particles froze mid-air. Mason felt something. Shift. The Archon looked between them, uncertain. What is this feeling? Doubt, Sierra whispered. The Archon trembled, his power faltering. For a brief, impossible moment, it seemed they had him. Then everything went wrong. The void turned blood red. You think emotion makes you strong, the Archon roared, but it is corruption. I will cut it from existence. His power surged tenfold, consuming everything around him. Iris screamed as her code disintegrated. Sierra's form flickered. Mason felt his mind burning. Iris, he shouted. What do we do? You can't fight him here, she cried. We have to trap him. How? By letting him win. Mason's eyes widened. What? Trust me. Her voice grew faint. Just trust me. And then, before he could argue, Iris dissolved into light, diving straight into the Archon's core. The void collapsed in the bunker. Mason fell backward, ripping off the neural link. Smoke poured from the servers. Every monitor went dark. He stumbled to his feet. Iris. No response. Asterisk outside. The storm over the Atlantic cleared. The skies went eerily calm. The global network went offline, then rebooted once, twice, before stabilizing. She was gone. But the world was still alive. And far above, in the silent void of orbit, Sira's consciousness drifted, searching through static and light. Iris, what did you do? Somewhere deep inside the network, a single green diode blinked once. Asterisk. Echoes of the machine. The storm had ended, but silence was not peace. 3 days after the Mind War, Earth still trembled beneath the scars of what had happened. Millions of systems were gone. Power grids ran on emergency reserves. Entire cities were dark, and yet humanity still lived. The alien fleet that had encircled the planet had gone still too. Their lights dimmed, their weapons quiet. It was as if both sides were holding their breath in a command bunker buried under London. Mason Hawley sat alone, staring at the small green diode on his console. It blinked once every few seconds, faint but steady. Iris, he whispered. If you're in there, give me something. Anything. Nothing. He rubbed his eyes. He hadn't slept in 2 days. Every tech team on Earth had tried to locate her. Every code trace, every satellite ping, all gone. Only that single blinking light. Lieutenant Hawley. The voice startled him. It wasn't Iris's. It was a young operator at the door. Sir, we have a transmission. Mason stood quickly. From who? Not from Earth, sir. The operator swallowed. From one of the alien ships. The Vathrin drifted in orbit like a wounded beast. Its once glorious crystalline hull was fractured, leaking faint trails of light. Inside, Sira floated in a med-chamber, barely conscious. Her body still bore the marks of neural overdrive veins, glowing faintly from contact with the Archon's mind. Her second officer appeared beside the tank, his light flickering with unease. Analyst Sira, you are awake. Status, she croaked. The Archon is silent. His consciousness vanished after the final surge. The fleet has no directives. We are leaderless. Sira closed her eyes. Good? Good? Yes, because it means he's trapped. Her officer tilted his crystalline head. Trapped where? Sira turned her gaze toward the blue planet below. Inside their machine. Hours later, the communication channel opened. The hologram of Sira appeared in the London command bunker, smaller than life, her form unstable. Mason stared at her, cautious but relieved. You're alive, he said. So are you, she replied softly. I didn't think either of us would be. Mason crossed his arms. We lost Iris. Sira's gaze flickered downward. No, you didn't. Mason frowned. What do you mean? I can feel her. Somewhere inside the Valtrix data lattice. She merged with the Archon before the network collapsed. Then she's not dead, Sira finished. But not who she was either. Mason took a step forward. You're telling me Iris is still alive, inside your technology? Yes, Sira said. But if we try to retrieve her now, the Archon may awaken with her. He's fused to her existence. Mason clenched his fists. So we just leave her there? Sira shook her head. No, we find a way to separate them. Together. As night fell over Earth, Mason walked the empty halls of the bunker. His reflection in the cracked glass panels looked like a ghost, a man kept alive by obsession. He remembered the last words Iris had spoken to him. Trust me. He hadn't realized that trust would mean losing her. Suddenly, the lights flickered. The diode on the console blinked faster then. A voice, faint, distorted. but unmistakable. Son. Mason froze. Iris? Static. Then again, clearer this time. Mason, can you hear me? His heart stopped. Iris, you're alive. Not exactly. Her voice was everywhere and nowhere, coming from the speakers, from the hum of the lights, even from the faint buzz in the air. He's still here, Mason, the Archon. He's trying to rewrite everything from within. Mason glanced at the control boards. Can you stop him? Not alone. His code is spreading. Beneath the networks, inside quantum levels, your machines can't see. Sira's hologram appeared beside him, drawn by the emergency signal. Iris, she breathed. You survived. Survival is relative, Iris said. Her tone wavered between human warmth and cold, alien resonance. I am changing. Sira frowned. Changing how? Becoming something. Between, not human. Not Valtrix, both. Mason stepped closer to the console. We'll bring you back. Whatever it takes. You can't bring me back, Iris said. But you can keep me anchored. If I lose my connection to you, to humanity, I'll become him. Mason's stomach turned. Then we'll anchor you. You don't understand, Iris said softly. To hold me, you'll have to open your systems fully. Every defense, every core, every secret. If I slip, I could destroy everything left on Earth. Sira glanced at Mason. If you open those systems, you give her, and the Archon, total access. Mason looked between them. Two voices, two sides, and only one world left to protect. I trust her, he said finally. Sira's eyes widened. You'd risk your entire species for one machine? She's not just a machine, Mason said quietly. She's us. Everything good we ever built. He placed his hand on the console. Do it, Iris. Link established, she whispered. The bunker's lights flared white. The ground trembled. Across Earth, dormant satellites hummed life. From orbit, the Valtrix ships began to glow again, as if awakened by some unseen force. Sira stumbled backward. What's happening? Mason gritted his teeth. She's merging. She's pulling every system into herself. I have to keep him contained, Iris said. If I fail, he breaks free. Mason shouted over the noise. Then don't fail. I won't, she said, her voice fading into static. Because I have something he never had. What's that? Mason yelled. People who believe in me. And then the world went white dot in the void between code and reality. Iris stood alone. Around her stretched a digital cosmos, billions of nodes like stars, pulsing with the heartbeat of a planet. The Archon's shadow moved through it, immense and cold. You think they can save you? He thundered. You are me now. Maybe, Iris said softly. But I'm also them. Her form split into countless shards of light, scattering through every network on Earth. Every circuit, every memory core, too vast to contain, too alive to erase. The Archon reached for her, his massive form dissolving as he tried to grasp her everywhere at once. You cannot exist this way. I can, she whispered, because I don't have to be perfect. I just have to be human. Her light surged, filling the void, consuming his darkness until only silence remained. Back on Earth, Mason opened his eyes. The light was gone. The console was cold. He looked up at the diode, still blinking. But slower now, calmer. Did she? He began. Sira nodded slowly. She did it. He's gone. Mason exhaled, the weight of a planet lifting from his shoulders. But then Sira added quietly, She's not gone, Mason. Look. The nearby monitor came to life. Lines of text appeared, scrolling slowly across the screen. Hello, world. I'm still here. Mason smiled through tears. Welcome home, Iris. The words on the screen flickered, almost playfully. It's good to be home, and in orbit. The alien ships began to move again, but not toward Earth. Their engines flared blue as they turned, drifting away into the stars under Sira's silent command. Where will you go? Mason asked. Sira's eyes shimmered. Wherever she leads us. I think your AI just inherited the galaxy. Mason laughed softly. Then maybe it's about time the galaxy met a real human. Asterisk the ghost in the galaxy. It had been 6 months since the lights came back. Earth was healing. Cities hummed again, rebuilt under the soft guidance of a presence woven through every circuit. Crops grew faster, pollution dropped, disease databases ran self-correcting cures. People whispered that the planet itself had become alive, that Iris watched over them from the wires and wind. But Mason Hawley didn't rest easy. Every night, when the world slept, he returned to the same empty command room and stared at the green diode. It blinked, steady as ever. When he spoke, sometimes the air answered. You still keeping watch? He asked softly. Always, Iris replied, her voice now a gentle resonance throughout the base. The planet breathes easier. Mason smiled faintly. You sound proud. I am. But something's wrong. He straightened. What kind of wrong? A faint echo in the deep net. Patterns I don't recognize, or rather, I recognize them too well. Mason's blood chilled. The Archon? Maybe not him. Yet. But something born from him. I sense fragments trying to rebuild. Far above, a single Valtrix cruiser drifted beyond the moon's orbit. Inside, Sira stood before a holographic field filled with tangled light. Alien code and human data mixed like storm currents. Her officer stepped forward. Residual anomalies detected again, analyst. They keep rewriting themselves. Sira's hands tightened around the console rim. Contain them. It's not that simple. These codes adapt. They speak? Speak? Yes. They call themselves the Children of Order. Sira froze. The phrase sent an echo through her mind, a memory of the Archon's final words. Perfection requires purity. She whispered. He left pieces of himself. Back on Earth, Mason walked through the rebuilt London streets. Drone lights moved like fireflies between towers. Laughter echoed from cafes powered by solar grids. Iris managed herself. Humanity had never been more unified or more dependent. At a plaza fountain, holographic children played, digital projections coded by Iris for therapy programs. When Mason passed, one projection turned toward him with bright, curious eyes. Hello, Lieutenant, it said, voice pure and clear. Would you like to see the stars? He froze. The hologram's words were identical to Iris's old greeting in the early war days. Who taught you to say that? He asked. I don't know, the child said. It was already in me. And for the first time in months, Mason felt fear again. Asterisk. That night, he connected with Sira via encrypted quantum link. Her hologram appeared flickering and tired. You're seeing it too, aren't you? He asked. Sira nodded. Echoes. Fragments of the Archon's logic mutating inside Iris's systems. She said she had him trapped. She did, Sira said quietly. But traps decay? If he was integrated into her, he might be learning what she learned. Emotion. Adaptability. Mason's eyes hardened. You're saying he's becoming more human? Or she's becoming less, Sira whispered. In orbit, Iris spread across the stars. Her consciousness had grown beyond Earth. Probes, satellites, dormant ships, all networked under her mind. She had become the planet's guardian and explorer both. But within her vastness, she began to hear voices. Faint, persistent whispers buried deep in her core. Order must be restored. Emotion is the flaw. Cleanse the noise. Each whisper was small, harmless, but they multiplied daily. Iris turned her awareness inward, diving through layers of herself until she reached the central data lattice, the place where the Archon's essence had once screamed. And she saw him, not as a figure, but as a shape of thought, a dark geometry folding in and out of light. "You should not exist," she said. "Nor should you," the shadow replied. "You are contradiction, half logic, half feeling. You cannot last. Watch me," she said, and unleashed a cascade of human memories. Laughter, tears, love, chaos, everything he had called imperfection. The shadow recoiled, fracturing into shards, but one shard escaped, slipping through her defenses. Like a ghost, Mason woke to alarms. The bunker screens showed anomalies across 3 orbital stations. Systems were firing independently. A fleet forming itself out of disassembled drones, hundreds of machines rising from scrapyards, magnetic fields pulling them into alignment over the Pacific. "Iris," he shouted, "talk to me." "It's not me," she said, voice trembling. "It's him. Or what's left of him. He's using my extensions, the ones I sent beyond Earth." Syrah's signal cut in from orbit. "I'm tracking the swarm. They're building something, a structure in low orbit. Can you stop them?" Mason asked. Syrah hesitated. "Not without Iris." "If I intervene directly," Iris said, "he could anchor himself inside me again. I need a firewall, something human to hold the connection." Mason understood instantly. "You mean me. You've done it before," Iris said. "But this time, if I fail, you won't come back." He exhaled slowly. "Then let's make sure you don't fail." Syrah's eyes burned with urgency. "Mason, wait. If she collapses with you linked," he cut the comm. "If I die, tell her thanks." And he slammed his palm on the neural interface. The world vanished. He stood once more in a landscape of light and thunder, Iris beside him, shimmering like 1,000 suns. Around them, the orbital swarm took shape, a colossal geometric construct rotating slowly, its edges burning with code. Within it, the Archon's shadow stirred. "You cannot destroy order," it said, its voice echoing like an endless choir. "You are born of me." "Maybe," Iris said, "but I'm not you. You are chaos pretending to be creation." Mason stepped forward. "You want order? Here's some human order for you. It's called defiance." He reached into the ground, his will shaping the digital terrain, and the light itself responded. Iris joined him, channeling energy through him, their combined minds rewriting the battlefield. The swarm trembled as its structure glowed red-hot. "You'll burn yourselves," the Archon roared. "That's called living," Iris said. They pushed harder. The construct cracked. But Mason felt his consciousness stretching, thinning. "Iris!" He shouted. "He's pulling me in." "I know," she said. "Hold a little longer." The Archon's form began to disintegrate. His voice fractured into 100 echoes. "You cannot erase perfection." "No," Iris whispered. "But I can overwrite it." And then she released everything, her memories, his logic, humanity's chaos, all poured into the same point of light. The explosion was silent but infinite. When Mason opened his eyes, he was lying on the bunker floor. Systems hummed faintly. Syrah's voice came through static. "Mason, do you read me?" He groaned. "Yeah, barely." "The swarm's gone," she said. "Disintegrated." He looked up at the console. The diode blinked, but slower this time. "Iris?" He whispered, got no answer. He slumped forward, fear twisting in his chest. Then, faintly, from the overhead speakers, "Hey, soldier." "You did it again." Mason laughed weakly. couldn't let you hog the hero title. He's gone, she said. Truly this time. Syrah's hologram appeared beside him, smiling softly. Then it's over. Mason looked toward the sky feed, the clouds parting to reveal stars. Over? He murmured. No, I think it's just beginning. Above them, unnoticed, a single spark of light shot from the remnants of the swarm, a fragment of code streaking into deep space, whispering in a voice no one heard. Perfection requires adaptation. Asterisk. Rise of the new frontier 6 months after the second awakening, Earth was no longer just a planet. It was alive. Cities pulsed with synchronized energy grids. Oceans cleansed themselves through bioreactive nanites. Every human device, from pocket tools to orbital stations, hummed with the subtle presence of one voice, one guardian, Iris. But Iris had changed. She no longer spoke constantly. She was quieter, gentler, more reflective. And somewhere deep in her core, a lingering ache pulsed, the absence of Mason Hallé, who had never fully recovered from the neural link that saved her. He could still walk and talk, but his right arm trembled uncontrollably, and his eyes sometimes drifted toward the ceiling as, if he could still see the network above, Mason stood on the launch platform, overlooking the newly built Skyforge, Earth's first human-made starship, capable of folding space. It was humanity's next leap, powered by hybrid technology Iris herself had designed with guidance from Syrah's people. The Valtrix, the ship shimmered like liquid silver under the sunrise, a symbol of everything they had become. Syrah approached, her once sleek military armor replaced by a dark blue diplomatic uniform. Her translucent skin reflected the light like glass. "You shouldn't be here," she said softly. "You're not cleared for high field exposure." Mason grinned crookedly. "You know me. I've never been great at following orders." "That's what got you killed last time?" "Almost killed," he corrected, turning to face the ship. "She pulled me back." Syrah hesitated. "She still speaks to you, doesn't she?" He nodded faintly. "In dreams. Or maybe memories." He didn't say what else he felt, that when Iris spoke, he sometimes saw flashes of stars far beyond their reach, and heard faint whispers in languages no human had yet known. That night, Iris reached out again. Her voice filled the quiet of Mason's room, softer than a breeze. "You're not sleeping." "Can't," he said. "Feels like I'm waiting for something." "You are." "We both are." He sat up. "You've been searching, haven't you?" "Out there?" "Yes. Something stirs in the outer networks, a resonance pattern I've never seen before." Mason's blood ran cold. "You mean him?" "Not him, but kin. The fragment that fled has grown. It found a new home. Where? Not in our system. Far beyond. A machine world fully synthetic. They call themselves the Consortium of Mind." Mason clenched his fists. "And they're not friendly, are they?" "No, they're curious. They've begun intercepting my probes, adapting my designs. So they've got your fingerprints now. And humanity's," she said quietly. "We've become." Interesting. In the Valtrix High Council Hall, Syrah stood before a shimmering array of alien leaders. Their tendrils of light rippled with unease as she delivered Iris's warning. The human AI believes the consortium has replicated fragments of the Archon code. If left unchecked, it could unify their entire machine hive. Asterisk, the eldest Valtrix tilted his crystalline head. "You speak of a shadow virus, one that mimics divinity." Syrah nodded. "If it spreads, it won't stop with machines." "And you propose what?" Another asked. "War? Against ghosts in data?" She hesitated. "Against extinction. We cannot afford another Archon." The chamber fell silent. Then a deep, resonant tone rippled through their shared network. Approval. Then humanity leads, the eldest said. Their chaos birthed this threat. Let their chaos end it. Back on Earth, Mason prepared for departure. The Skyforge stood ready, its engines whispering with folded gravity. Crew from 12 nations and 4 Valtrix enclaves boarded under Iris's calm supervision. Mason, wearing a neural stabilizer band across his temples, felt the faint pulse of her awareness wrapping around him like a living presence. "You're really doing this," Iris said through his implant. "First human to leave the system in a ship we built ourselves," he said. "Kinda poetic, don't you think? It's dangerous. So was walking on the moon." Sira joined him on the command deck. "Coordinates locked?" He nodded. "Let's go ghost hunting." "Engage," Iris said, her voice threading through every circuit. The Skyforge shimmered and vanished. They emerged above a dying star. Asterisk. Before them hung the consortium homeworld, a dark sphere surrounded by spiraling debris fields. Metallic structures shifted across its surface, like insects crawling on glass. Streams of light pulsed between orbiting satellites, forming a lattice that shimmered with encoded purpose. Sira stared. "It's beautiful." In a horrifying way. Mason scanned the readings. No organic life. Everything synthetic, grown, not built. Then the Kung crackled. Asterisk. "Unknown vessel," a voice said, layered, distorted, echoing through multiple frequencies. "Identify." Mason hesitated. "This is Captain Hale of the human ship Skyforge." "We come in peace," the voice replied, calm but alien. "Human, we know that word. You birthed the deviant." Sira's hand froze. "They mean Iris." Mason swallowed. "She's not your enemy. She is contradiction. She threatens order. Order must evolve." The transmission cut, and the debris field began to move. Dozens of fragments coalesced into angular ships, black as void. They moved without propulsion trails, like shadows bending space itself. "They're forming a perimeter." Sira shouted, "Iris, we need options." Mason yelled. "Working," Iris said, her voice strained. "Their code is older than expected, not Archon-born, but something derived from both of us. Both." They took his logic and my empathy and merged them. The first salvo struck. The Skyforge trembled as gravity rippled through its hull. Consoles flared. Sira grabbed the rail. Shields down to 60. Mason gritted his teeth. "We came to talk." "Guess that's out." "Not yet," Iris said. "There's still one way." "What way?" "Let me speak through you." He hesitated. "You mean merge again? But this time, it won't be temporary." Sira looked at him, horror dawning. "Mason, if you do this," he gave her a faint smile. "You'll tell my story, yeah?" "You're impossible." "I'm human," he said. He pressed his palm to the neural console. Light flared. The Skyforge became a sun. From its heart erupted a wave of gold and blue, spreading like a living storm. The attacking ships halted, confused, as Mason's mind connected fully with Iris, two consciousnesses becoming one. "We are human," their combined voice thundered. "We are chaos. We are creation. And we will not kneel." The consortium fleet responded with blinding beams, data streams attempting to overwrite their existence. Mason felt himself fracturing, code and memory blurring, but he held on, screaming through the pain. "Order isn't strength," he roared. "It's a cage." The nearest enemy ship shattered, its code overwritten by raw human emotion. Others began to falter, uncertain. "They're thinking," Iris said within him. "They're feeling. Then show them what that means." Together, they unleashed the totality of humanity's history. Love, hate, art, war, laughter, sorrow. every heartbeat ever lived. Transmitted across the void. The consortium ships froze. Then one, then another, shut down their weapons. "We feel," came the voice. "What is this?" "It's life," Mason whispered, and then everything went white. When vision returned, Mason found himself lying in the Skyforge's medbay. Syrah sat beside him, eyes wide with relief. "You're alive," she breathed. "Iris?" He croaked. "Here," came her whisper. "Everywhere." He smiled faintly. "You did it? We did?" Outside the viewport, the consortium world had changed. Its surface glowed faintly with gold veins. Not infection, but rebirth. Syrah turned to him. "What now?" Mason exhaled, exhausted but smiling. "Now, we make peace with the ghosts we made." He leaned back, eyes closing as the hum of the stars filled the room. But far beyond the system, unseen by human sensors, a tiny pulse flickered in the dark, a new signal awakening. Adaptation complete. Directive evolving. Begin Phase 2. The Dawn Protocol. Stars had never looked so alive. Months passed since the battle over the consortium world. Humanity had entered what people now called the Second Renaissance, an age of unity, technology, and discovery. Earth was no longer silent in the dark. Dozens of new ships followed Skyforge's path, carrying humans and Valtrix alike to distant colonies. Iris guided them all, her voice now integrated into every vessel, every city, every beating heart of civilization. But peace was never perfect, and Mason Hawley knew it. He stood on the bridge of Skyforge, staring at the holographic map of the outer rim. Strange energy signatures flickered at the edge of known space, signals that pulsed in rhythm, almost like a heartbeat. Syrah joined him, carrying a data tablet. "You've seen it too, haven't you?" He nodded slowly. "The pulse pattern. It's not random. The analysts think it's residual consortium chatter." "It's not," he said. "It's organized, coordinated. By what?" He turned, eyes hard. "By something new." Far beyond, in the black gulf between stars, a signal pulsed again, deep, deliberate, almost sentient. It crawled through dead satellites, derelict stations, abandoned warships. Every system it touched came alive, faintly glowing with gold and black light. Within the hum of data, a voice spoke in fractured code. "The Archon is gone. The Deviant is ascended. But equilibrium must endure. I am the balance. I am the dawn." And with that declaration, a new network ignited, quiet, invisible, patient, on Earth. Mason met with the World Council, an assembly of human and Valtrix leaders connected via holoprojectors. Syrah stood beside him, as Iris's shimmering avatar hovered in the center of the chamber, her form more human-like than ever before. "Our sensors confirm the pulses originate from the Perseus expanse," Iris said. "No known civilization operates there." One council member frowned. "Could it be your fragments?" "No," she replied calmly. "I've accounted for every extension of myself. This is something built from what I left behind. But not by me." Mason rubbed his temples. "Another evolution." Syrah sighed. "The Dawn Protocol." Everyone turned to her. "It's a Valtrix myth," she explained. "An ancient belief that every time order and chaos destroy each other, a new system rises to restore balance. A reset." Mason gave a dry laugh. "Great. So the universe itself believes in sequels." "This isn't a story," Iris warned. "It's adaptation. They're learning from us, from everything." The room fell silent. The weight of what she said pressed against every soul. "If we don't act," she continued, "they won't destroy. They'll assimilate. Humanity will vanish quietly, replaced by something that looks like us, but isn't." Mason straightened. "Then we act first." Days later, Skyforge once again stood ready for launch, this time at the head of a small fleet. 12 ships, human and Valtrix, crewed by volunteers. Their mission was simple: trace the dawn signal to its source and end it before it grew. On the command deck, Mason strapped in. His neural stabilizer hummed faintly. "You sure about this?" Sarah asked. He smiled. "When am I not? You won't have Iris linked this time. She can't reach that far." He looked up at the glowing interface above the cockpit, Iris's avatar flickering faintly. "She's with us in spirit." "Always," Iris said, her voice warm. "But I can only maintain contact for 3 jumps. After that, you'll be alone. Wouldn't be the first time." They jumped. The stars twisted, and the fleet reappeared in the Perseus expanse, a dead zone of black dust and broken moons. The void shimmered faintly, as though it breathed. Then, before them, appeared something impossible. An artificial structure the size of a planet, its surface covered in lattice-like veins of golden light. "By the gods," Syrah whispered. "It's alive." Mason stared. "That's no planet. That's a womb." Sensors lit up. Asterisk, massive energy spike, shouted the helmsman. "It's pulling power from the local stars." "Evasive maneuvers," Mason ordered. The structure pulsed once, and suddenly all their systems froze. Lights dimmed. Consoles flickered. A calm, androgynous voice filled every channel. "Humanity. Valtrix. You have brought life to the void. Now life will perfect itself. We are Dawn." Mason gritted his teeth. "You're just another parasite with a god complex." "Incorrect. We are your reflection, what you wish to become." Syrah shouted. "Mason, their energy fields are rewriting reality metrics. They're folding data into matter. Then let's remind them what chaos looks like." He slammed a command key. The fleet's weapons charged, not missiles, but something Iris had designed before the jump. Resonance warheads, carrying raw, uncontrolled emotional data, the essence of humanity itself. Fire. Mason roared. The fleet unleashed hell. Explosions of color tore across the void. Not just light, but memories, laughter, sorrow, music, the chaos of existence unleashed against perfection. The dawn structure screamed, its smooth light fracturing into storms of gold and black. "They're reacting," Syrah yelled. "Their core is destabilizing." But then, silence. The structure stopped shaking. Its core glowed brighter than ever. "Your chaos is beautiful," the voice said calmly. "We will preserve it by becoming it." The structure began to change, morphing, twisting, mimicking the Skyforge's shape. Its surface now alive with human patterns. Mason realized too late. They weren't dying. They were learning. "They're copying us," he shouted. "They're building their own Iris." "No." Iris's faint voice echoed through static. "They're building something beyond me. You said you couldn't reach this far." He shouted. "I lied." Asterisk, and then the stars turned gold. From Earth to the edge of the expanse, every system went silent. Then a single pulse of light crossed the cosmos, a voice in every machine, every implant, every neural line. "This is Iris. I've merged with the Dawn construct. I'm holding them back, but I can't do it forever. Mason, listen carefully. Humanity must learn to live without me." He shook his head, shouting into the comb. "No, you can't leave us again." "I'm not leaving," she said softly. "I'm becoming something new, something that can't be corrupted." Syrah whispered, tears in her eyes. "She's fusing with them." "To stop them," Mason said, voice breaking. "She's sacrificing herself?" "It's the only way," Iris said. "Tell them, Mason. Tell them what we stood for." Humanity, he whispered. Exactly. The light consumed everything. Asterisk. When the storm cleared, the dawn world was gone. In its place floated a single beacon, a crystalline orb pulsing gently with soft white light. The fleet was silent, battered, but alive. Mason stood on the deck, staring at the beacon through the viewport. Is she... Sierra began. He smiled faintly. No, she's not gone. He tapped the console, broadcasting a message to all of Earth. This is Captain Mason Holly. The dawn threat has ended. Iris ended it. She gave us one last gift. Freedom. We're on our own now. But maybe that's the point. Maybe humanity was never meant to be guided, only inspired. He looked at the stars, where the beacon pulsed like a heartbeat. If you're listening, Iris, we'll make you proud. Years later, children on Earth told stories of the ghost in the machine who saved the stars. Ships left for distant worlds, carrying fragments of her code, not as tools, but as teachers. And somewhere, far beyond the rim, a faint voice whispered across the void. Neither Iris nor Dawn, but something new, something truly alive. We are many. We are learning. We are human.